Imagine walking through the streets of Boston, a quiet winter afternoon. Suddenly, you hear a deep metallic rumble. Then people start screaming. You turn around, and a giant brown wave is racing toward you. But it's not water, not mud. It's molasses. Millions of gallons of it, moving faster than a car. And in seconds, an entire neighborhood disappears. The strangest part? This actually happened. In 1919, January 15th, Boston's North End neighborhood. A massive steel tank stood above the streets, 50 feet tall. Inside it, 2.3 million gallons of molasses. The tank belonged to the United States Industrial Alcohol Company. They used molasses to make industrial alcohol. But locals noticed something strange. The tank leaked constantly. Molasses slowly dripped down the metal walls. Children would bring cups and collect the sweet syrup. It looked harmless, but one question remained. Why was the tank leaking so much? Then, at 12:40 p.m., everything changed. Witnesses heard a loud crack. The giant tank exploded open, and suddenly, a 25-foot-high wave of molasses burst into the streets. The sticky liquid moved at nearly 35 miles per hour. Buildings collapsed. Horse carts flipped over. People were thrown into the air. The thick syrup acted like a slow-moving tsunami. But escaping it was almost impossible. When the wave finally stopped, the damage was unbelievable. 21 people were dead. More than 150 were injured. Entire buildings were destroyed, and the neighborhood was buried under feet of molasses. Cleaning the streets took weeks. But something even stranger happened. For decades afterward, locals claimed that on hot summer days, you could still smell molasses in the air. But the real mystery wasn't the flood. It was why the tank exploded. Investigators discovered shocking details. The steel tank was dangerously thin, the design was flawed, and the company ignored warning signs. In fact, the tank leaked so badly that the company painted it brown just to hide the stains. The disaster wasn't an accident. It was negligence. Families of the victims took the company to court. The case lasted 6 years. Thousands of pages of evidence. Engineering experts, witness testimonies. Finally, the court reached a decision. The company was responsible. They were ordered to pay damages to the victims' families. The case became one of the first major examples of corporate accountability in American history, and it changed how industrial structures are inspected across the United States. Today, the giant tank is gone. The streets look normal again. But the story remains. Because on that winter afternoon in 1919, Boston didn't drown in water. It drowned in molasses. And over 100 years later, people still ask the same question. How could something so sweet cause something so deadly?